Shalom. All right, let me get straight into this lesson. I'm going to entitle this lesson, The Taste of Immortality. The Taste of Immortality. So this was a promise that Yahweh Shim Yahushai gave unto his elect of the nation Israel. There's going to come a time where we're going to be given new bodies that never dies. Like the superhuman, bodies that we're going to inhabit. Lord willing, that we of the elect. And that's something that I want to tap into, that, you have to elevate yourself spiritually more and more, right? So when you taste something, you have to discern if it tastes good or bad through your taste buds, right? So this is the taste, right, of immortality. Let's go here. And this word is like food for the spirit, right? So it says right here, 3, the ability to discern what is of a good quality or of a high aesthetic standard. It says discernment. It says judgment, right? So we've tasted this doctrine, right? And it's pleasing to our spirit, our stomach, right? Which should be likened to our mind, right? So let me go back here. So this is who we see in our mind coming back to deliver his elect and destroy this, Babylon, this abomination of a place. And we know it's just a matter of time, right? So we got a few more prophecies that's on the horizon, and then we up out of here. But I know sometimes you might get worried in the spirit, lose, some brothers be losing faith at times. And that happen, that's a normal thing. Not saying that you completely lose faith, but sometimes you have low points in the truth. That's a better way of putting it, because our faith is locked in, right? We know that this is the truth. No matter how much burdensome it is, how grimy it get, we sit on this path for immortality, right? Because he promised that his elect would not fall out of the truth. It's as if it was possible, right? So this is a doctrine that's from heaven. It's not bound by this world, all right? So let's go here. First off, let's go to immortality. What does that really mean? And as you see in these movies and video games, right, the superhuman abilities on these movies and etc. of, they would call superhuman Salakia. Immortality. What is it? It says the state of quality of being in Salakia. Give me 1 second. Got the wrong word. Salakia. I had the wrong word. Immortality right here. It says immortality in the simplest form is the concept of endless existence, transcending the limits of death. It says it can refer to the belief in continual existence beyond physical death. That's heavy. That's heavy because in this reality that we know we call life, we're bound by death until we're freed from these chains of darkness, which would be these bodies. Right? There's all kind of things that can plague you in the flesh. Right? You can get cancer, all kind of different strange calamities. Right? Death is lurking. But we have a better existence coming, and that's when you have to tap into the spirit to understand that. This world don't understand this. Understand this. This world that we're in, moves off what they can see in front of them. Strictly carnality. We're supposed to be tapping into the spiritual. It says it can refer to the belief in continued existence beyond physical death. It says often associated with the idea of a soul or mental imprint. And this is your legacy right here. So have you, it's how can I say it? It's key that you lock in, because this world has nothing better to offer us. This world don't have nothing better to offer us. Immortality is something from the spirit. It says biological immortality at the top. This refers to the absence of aging or death due to natural causes. You hear this? So yeah, we want those new bodies. Let's go here. And Yahweh Shai would often teach in parables using physical things that our people knew of to show them spiritual points. John 10 and 28. And I give unto them eternal life. It says, and they should never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. That's the elect. So it's going to be a time in the future that we're not going to die. We're going to get new bodies, like Superman bodies, so you can understand it. Whether you can believe this or not, it is what it is. It's only for the elect to understand. Let's keep going. It says, John 10 and 29, it says, my Father, which gave them me, is greater than all. So they're going to show you that's a difference from the Messiah and the Father. They're not the same entity. That's a cut on that immaculate conception. There's many more precepts that prove that. It says, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand, Yahweh. So it's set in stone, right? The elect of the nation of Israel is already locked in from the foundation of the world. We just had to come back in this lifetime and play this movie out that Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai has orchestrated, right? It says, I and my Father are one, meaning they're on the same accord. They're not the same entity. So, matter of fact, I do that in another lesson because I did lessons going into this because this is a stumbling block for a Christian. They'll read this and think it's talking about the Father and the Son is the same. No, this word goes into agreement, when you go into that word one. Matter of fact, let me see something. All right, when you go to this word, let me basically go back. So, John 10 and 30, when you go to this word one, and this is why you have to look words up so you can come out that ignorance of Christianity. So when you go, I'm going to get straight to the point. You go to, it says C also G1527, G3367, G3391. That's the one we're looking for. So we're going to click that. What does this word one mean in this context? It says right here, agree. Agree. So they're in agreement. When you actually look this up in a Bible commentary, it says agreement. That's the word supposed to be there. So when it says, I just want to prove that before I got too deep into this lesson. Right? So what this translates to is like, I and my Father are in agreement. Right? So let's keep moving. Let's go to Matthew 19 and 28. And Yahweh said unto them, verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me into regeneration back again in the flesh. That's what that means. When the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory. So it's all about the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Israel. And Yahweh Shai, right, will be the king of all kings, right? He also shall sit upon 12 thrones, going back to the 12 tribes of Israel, right? Judging the 12 tribes of Israel. There you go. So once we live again, so you're going to have some brothers and sisters on this side that don't die. They're not going to taste death, right? And the brothers, the saints, the brethren and sisters that have passed away will be, we're going to be reunited. You know what I'm saying? How the Lord chooses, do all that. You know what I'm saying? So basically, we're going to live again. You don't just die and that's it. Jake believing to some folly that you go back to nothing. No, the spirit is eternal. It says, go to this word regeneration. And I was thinking about something heavy today and I was meditating through the spirit. I was like, no one can dodge death. You know what I'm saying? Death is a reminder that we got a higher power, Yahweh, by Shem Yahweh Shai, that we have to answer to. But Jake has lost sight of that because of the folly of the flesh. The carnality of the flesh keeps you blinded, only focusing on this world. Regeneration. It literally translates to create again, back in the flesh. Right? So the act, the process, matter of fact, I found a real straightforward definition. Salakia. Regeneration. Basically, it was saying rebirth when I went to similar words. Give me 1 second. Right. So when I went right here, similar words, it says rebirth, back again in the flesh. Right. So to regenerate. So once we get these new bodies, it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? There's no going to be no more such thing for Israelites as death. That's going to be done away with. And that's why you have to lock into this doctrine. That's all you got. So let's go here. So I want to go to 1 Corinthians 15 and 53. And I was heavy in the spirit today because I was just thinking about how much folly it is to be in the flesh. You know what I'm saying? I was reminiscing on Ecclesiastes um, chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4, if I'm not mistaken. All right, when it's talking about the folly of the flesh. It don't profit anything to be in the flesh. We have to be here, to go through the motions. But we are waiting on the kingdom of heaven to be established. That's the end goal here. It's not to build your credit score and put $1 million in your 401k. No. It says 1 Corinthians 15 and 53 states, for this perishable body must put on imperishable, and this mortal body must put on immortality. It says this verse speaks of transformation change that will occur for the believers, which would be the Israelites among the elect, at the resurrection, where their mortal bodies will be replaced with immortal, incorruptible bodies. We're not going to sin anymore. It's going to be those new perfect bodies in the likeness of Yahweh Shai. He got the glorious body right now. So we're going to get a body like he got. It says this transformation is necessary for the Israelites to inherit the kingdom of God, right? So these bodies right here can't go into the outer space, so-called. We're going to have new bodies that can go into different dimensions, right? To be able to handle the G-force of them chariots. And that's a heavenly doctrine that's not bound by the chemistry of this world, for lack of better words. It's not bound by the laws of physics of this world, the understanding of this world. It says right here, it says this verse, let's keep reading. This verse highlights the contrast between the current perishable nature of human bodies and the future imperishable and immortal state that Israelites will receive. That's heavy right there. It says perishable refers to the mortal body susceptibility to decay and death. That's what I was just telling you about. All right, so we have to get new bodies. And that's why the Lord made this doctrine very hard for an average Joe Smo to figure out. They can't figure it out. That's why many stumbling blocks is in this doctrine to weed out the undesirables. Let's go here. Matter of fact, and I was like, the spirit came to me as taste of immortality, right? So we receiving a doctrine, and now it's going to manifest in due time into the physical, right? We're going to see these things physically play out, like we see in World War III formulating, and the micro C-HIP, is going to come first, and then nuclear war. It's going to be a order to it, but you're going to have all kind of chaos going on that we headed to Jacob's trouble. It says the phrase "ye should know the truth and the truth shall make you free" is a quote from the Bible, specifically from John 8 and 32. Check this out. It is a well-known verse that emphasizes the transformative power of the truth, suggesting that understanding and accepting the truth can liberate individuals from various forms of bondage and oppression. Right? So we don't bug out in this flesh because we know we're going to get our payback back. And we know this thing is temporary. Right? So taste of immortality. Hopefully this lesson was edifying. Call Allah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Rachak, Kodash. Shalom.